It's an extraordinary evening in Dili, East Timor. The guests of honour aren't Shanana Guzmau's old friends, they're some of his oldest enemies. With the Indonesians finally gone, this evening is a night of reconciliation with East Timorese collaborators. An evening for both Falantil guerrillas like Matan Ruak and Falantil hunters like Rui Lopez. An evening for those who were imprisoned and tortured by the Indonesians, and for the informers and bureaucrats who assisted in their arrest. An evening for widows unsure who to share their bitter victory with. And across the room, the man that helped start the bloody saga 25 years ago. Thomas Gonçalves was the commander of a Timorese force that secretly led the Indonesian army across the border at Balibo in 1975. It was to be the beginning of years of slaughter by the Indonesians, but the blood shed on that day wasn't Timorese. It was of 5 journalists from Australia. The deaths of the 5 have been surrounded by lies and mystery ever since. The families have never known what happened to them. Gonçalves has been accused of having once boasted that he personally killed 2 of the journalists. It's a claim he denies, but it's irrefutable that he was present during their deaths. With Indonesia gone, Gonçalves is now free to talk about what he saw and what he did in Balibo 25 years ago.
Oh, it's dreadful, isn't it? It's like the Blitz. People sitting on their front steps and nothing else left.
Shirley Shackleton's husband was one of the journalists killed at Balibo. For 25 years, she's been told by both Indonesia and the Australian government that the journalists were accidentally killed in crossfire.
Here's more, just sitting there, just nothing left.
For 25 years, she's maintained that they were murdered.
Well, first of all, the truth will out, as they say. You've got to have the truth. You can't deal with murder and lies unless you've got something to go on. You just can't. And we've been lied to. These murders didn't happen officially at many levels. And I just want justice. I want justice so we can get on with our lives.
Shirley has come to East Timor to try to talk with Thomas, as well as to investigate the death of another journalist, Roger East, who was killed just 2 months after the 5 in Balibo.
I believe in the rule of law, and I want to see the perpetrators up in the witness stand telling us what they did and why they did it.
August 1975. Portugal has announced that it will soon be withdrawing as the colonial ruler of East Timor. In the looming power vacuum, a brief civil war erupts between 2 parties, Fretlin and the UDT. By October, Fretlin are largely victorious, but on the border, Fretlin are claiming Indonesian soldiers are attacking them, posing as Timorese insurgents. And even more seriously, Fretlin claim that a full-scale Indonesian invasion was imminent. 2 TV news crews from Australia are sent to investigate the claims.
Greg Shackleton's report.
Balibo, Monday afternoon, and we're back here not much longer than 24 hours after when we left. The counterattack...
From Channel 7, Shirley's husband, Greg Shackleton, 29, who arrived with 2 colleagues. Sound recordist Tony Stewart, just 21, and who'd begun working at the station soon after leaving school.
Close it.
Cameraman Gary Cunningham, a New Zealander by birth, living in Australia since he was 17 and about to celebrate his 28th birthday.
Dili is a very changed city compared to when Channel 9 last visited this particular...
From Channel 9, Malcolm Rennie of Britain, 29 and on his first international assignment for the network. And cameraman Brian Peters, 26, originally from Bristol, with experience in East Timor and, like Gary Cunningham, in Vietnam.
Yes, that sounds like
Yes,
it.
yeah, journalist di journalist sir na lima na ida siya tetren ami Vietnam na niya si how si hans ron ni frase ne niya teten sene niya pernah journalist niya pernah hans ne yo Vietnam sir na lima na ida ko hans ne niya kostume niya tahu ropa bolsu barak hena mahar bolsu barak.
Francisco de Oliveira was the driver for the journalists as they shuttled back and forth between small firefights along the border. Francisco's passengers were originally suspicious about whether Fretlin were really fighting Indonesians or just other Timorese from the UDT party.
There's been no attack today, but the 60-man Fretlin garrison is pulling back to Maliano. They've been told that Indonesian soldiers are heading this way up the road from Batagadi. Of course, when they say Indonesian soldiers, they could well mean UDT.
Were you with them when they filmed the Indonesian ships in the harbour?
Oh, sirare ho sira tama be robe liu ia be robe ro sir ni be lansa foget skalan sira ne sira kalan film buat sira ne ho amba ba ia be tranquera letene tumba tokrai batu ade.
Lying in Indonesian waters was a destroyer west of Batagadi. Its big guns...
From the hill at Balibo, the journalists could observe the Indonesian Navy massing at the border, clearly providing support to a beachhead at Batagadi on the coast.
The patrol boat, another patrol boat, 2 freighters, and a craft that looked like a troop carrier.
Tamba ko ansa ihona informadores intelijensia amnian halayo ne sini bama hatete invasão nene ema athalona ema começa tropa indonésia sira preparar nene ba mas como ia informação ainda ema sira ne hakar khaine ba invasão ne tama tansa sira hakar prepara para atsuti atu firma sirni hanuini idane.
On the 16th of October, the 5 journalists saw for themselves the first large Indonesian invasion of East Timor. At Balibo, the Indonesian army crossed the border with a token group of Timorese led by Thomas Gonsalves. But the journalists didn't live to break the story.
He'll be able to tell us who shot who and when, who started the firing, what the journalists were doing. He'll be able to put perhaps to sleep all these absurd rumours that they were wearing military garments, that they were armed, that they were fighting with Fretlin.
Last reports say that the 7 National News and Channel 9 crews together with a...
Despite solid intelligence about the attack and the deaths of the 5, the reactions of both the Australian and British governments were extraordinarily limp, both of them compromised by a diplomatic dilemma. While the relatives waited anxiously for news, neither the Australians or the British would challenge Indonesia's official position that it had no troops in East Timor. And if the troops weren't there, then of course the Indonesians couldn't have killed the 5.
It was shot on October 13 and 14, 2 days before the reported attack.
The Indonesian government arranged for a statement to be issued quoting Thomas Gonsalves. Apparently, as Gonsalves led his Timorese partisan group into Balibo, heavy gunfire came firing from a house that the journalists were staying in. Gonsalves shelled the house, instantly killing all 15 people inside, including some unknown white men who were apparently controlling the Fretlin troops. The statement was issued by 3 Timorese anti-Fretlin leaders. Within months, one of the 3 signatories, Jose Martins, fled East Timor to advise the Australian government that the account was a complete fabrication. His advice was completely ignored.
Well, it's the obvious lies told by the Indonesian government to the Australian government, and the fact that the Australian government, it seemed to me, with great alacrity, accepted the lies. There's never any questioning, cross-examination. It was just, oh, of course they couldn't have done it. The Indonesians have told us they didn't. And I'm angry with the Australian governments over the last 24 years who seemed to prefer trade deals